This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. Bumper to Bumper, helping you and your car feel better. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
I don't know. I remember my customers letting their brakes get a lot worse than what Aaron just played before they actually bring it in. The things are grinding. Good morning and welcome to Bumper Radio. I'm Dave Riccio, here along with my good friend Matt Allen, and we are here to help you with your car every Saturday from 11 to noon, right here on News Talk 92.3 KTAR. We're here to help you with your car questions, car problems, maybe it's a car purchase, and your overall car repair experience. The best way we know how to do that is to educate you on your car. All you got to do to get involved is give us a call at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. Well, today on the Bumper to Bumper Roadmap, a little bit of automotive fact or fiction, open phones, and I will be throwing Matt under the bus later in the show. And today's topic is brought to you by Arizona Import Specialist in Tempe, proudly fixing European and import vehicles since 1982. And the question is, how much should a brake job cost? What do you think, Matt?
Well, that's a loaded question, Dave. I don't know how many emails, how many questions we get, telephone calls. How much is brakes? How much? I have a car, my brakes are bad. How much? I don't know. I mean, typically we know, and I always like to tease, call the doctor and say, I broke my arm. How much?
I don't know.
We need to do an x-ray. We've got to do an inspection.
My chest hurts. How much for open heart surgery?
Come over here. I'll give it a shot. Won't charge anything.
Maybe it's just indigestion. I don't know.
Well, yeah, perfect. You maybe don't need it. Maybe you just got a little gas. So
that's you.
So the question is, do I need a brake job, or how much? Well, the first question is, well, do you really need a brake job? Are the brakes squeaking, or did somebody tell you need brakes? And is there a symptom? Is there a vibration? And we can talk about a lot of these things. But then you have to wonder. There's a lot of marketing out there. $59 lifetime brake job. $99 all four wheels or something like that.
How can they guarantee a friction item for life?
Life.
Doesn't make sense to me. But I have heard 4 brakes for, all 4 wheels for $99, but then they're pro rata. I don't know what pro rata means,
it's
but
somehow prorated.
Play on words.
Yeah. Again, it's marketing. It's just like your new BMW or your new General Motors vehicle. You don't have to change the spark plug to 100,000 miles. You only change the oil every 15,000 miles. That's marketing. And it's the same thing with these $99 brake job marketing or $59 or whatever. But one of the questions is, how can you guarantee a brake pad for life? Well, you can't. I guess you can. Anybody can guarantee anything. But it's designed to wear out. It is supposed to wear out. So really, that's a marketing ploy to get you to come back in to buy the rest of the stuff every time that, in my opinion, you may or may not need. You just get, because you can't replace $59 brake jobs forever for free.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, when I was talking to Joel about this topic, we were talking about, an Asian import is completely different than the way you would handle a brake job on a European import.
True.
And it comes down to one of the big components that gets replaced on a European import is the brake rotors. They get replaced pretty much every time you do a brake job. Never do you turn them. They're a lot softer compound of metal, or the metallurgy is different, so you get new rotors.
The reason we don't turn them is they're very soft. They're all those cars are very performance oriented, so the materials are going to be a little softer. They want to build heat in them faster, and they're just going to wear. Part of that is of getting good brake performance is they're going to wear faster. So you typically don't want to machine them because they're not going to make it. They're going to have a big, be dished out.
Well, then on a European import, the symptoms for when you need brakes is different than on an Asian import. So on a European import, they have sensors on the brake pads. As the pad wear, the sensor contacts the rotor and grounds a circuit and turns on a light.
Well, and let's back it up just a little bit, Dave. First off, we talked about, do I need a brake job, and how much should a brake job cost? There's not one size that fits all. Pretty typical, if you wanted to say the average popular import and American car on the road are pretty typical. And I'm going to say most shops are going to be somewhere between $250 and $350.
That's for a front brake job.
I would say any front or rear axle, typical
turn the
disc
rotor
type
and
brakes.
put new brake pads in there.
Yeah, we don't turn them; we machine them.
Oh, sorry.
Here's my play on words.
Semantics, huh?
You turn it. What do you want to, be the sign turner on the corner and call it a good rotor?
Yeah, I worked that job. I was young. I needed the money.
But some of the symptoms before you even need to get into a brake job, the easiest symptom for most everybody to hear and see. There you go, see a symptom. But with the radio turned down, I hear it all the time. Cars just driving by. You don't have your foot on the brakes. You're thinking, well, it can't be my brakes. I don't have my feet on the brakes. You step on the brakes and the noise goes away a lot. That's a typical symptom of there's a warning sensor.
That's a little soft metal tab attached to the brake pad, and it contacts the rotor and starts making noise.
As the pads wear down and deplete, then that sensor is going to drag when you're going.
How much material would you say is left by the time you get to there?
Looks like you forgot to turn off your cell phone, huh, Dave? Got a text message.
You just wait till the end of the show, buddy.
So we're going to measure brake pads thicknesses in millimeters or 30/2 of an inch. I'm not a big fan of someone saying, oh, there's 20% left, because that's objective or subjective. Measurement is not. If it's 3/32 of an inch, it's 3/32 of an inch. So, and that's typically 2 to 3/32, or about 2.5 or 3 millimeters, is when those sensors are going to start touching and dragging. Or in the European case, in some late model American cars, they have a sensor, like the BMWs and stuff, that drags and then grounds out and causes the light to come on. So that's one of your symptoms.
Well, as a consumer, I've seen this. Well, is it 2/32 to the indicator? Is it 2/32 on one side, on both sides? Where's the 2/32, that number you're coming up with? Is that from the contact of metal to metal, where the rotor's touching the backing metal of the pad?
When the sensor starts to drag, that's 2/32 of an inch. So you still got 2/32 of material, but then you're into the meat, you're into the rotors, and you're into dollars.
Right.
When you've gone that far, typically.
So you're easily adding, maybe $50 a wheel to put a rotor on. If you
$100, $100 a rotor usually. I mean, now give or take a little anything 88 Nissan Sentra, you can buy that rotor for $20. But we're talking quality now. You can buy that another rotor for a Nissan Sentra for $76, and there's a big difference besides $50. It's the quality, the manufacturing process, the amount of carbon in the steel. There's a lot that goes into it. And I always have the hamburger analogy. You can go to McDonald's and get a 99-cent one. Maybe go to Carl's Jr. and get the $6 burger, or Fuddruckers, or even Durant's has a great burger. It's $13 though. And then somebody might say, oh, gosh, that's expensive for a hamburger. Well, it is, but it's better.
Well, on rotors, I think you can really go wrong. I've seen some really inexpensive $10 and $20 rotors, and the metallurgy is totally different. I mean, these things, there's a certain hardness that needs to be there. There's a balance to it. It can't have, thin spots on this end. You can have, vibration from a rotor that is not balanced. So,
yeah, I mean, there's all kinds, and there's some other symptoms we need to talk about. Besides just the noise, maybe your parking brake, you grab that thing and it's going through the roof. That's a good sign that the rear brakes are out of adjustment. If the rear brakes are out of adjustment, well, the fronts aren't going to last as long. So that's just another symptom that maybe there's something that your vehicle needs some attention in the brake category.
Well, we've got open lines at 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR. You're listening to Bumper Radio.